I'm Chip Freund, and this is the Artist Spotlight, conversations with contemporary artists based on 5 simple questions that explore the artist's journey, creativity, and sources of inspiration.
Today, my name is Wolf Freund, and I am joined by the regular host of the Artist Spotlight, Chip Freund, who also happens to be my dad. Hey, Chip.
Hey, Will.
So on this exciting bonus episode of the Artist Spotlight, we're going to kind of turn the tables around a little bit here and put the spotlight on you and on a very exciting project that you have had in the works for quite a while here. We are going on a bit of an expedition. And so do you want to kind of start off and tell us, where are we going?
We are off to Olympic National Park in Washington State. If you're not familiar with that absolutely stunning national park, it's basically on the thumb that sticks out of Washington State from Seattle there. So the opposite side of Puget Sound, there's a big old peninsula. That's the Olympic Peninsula. We are heading to that park and then up to the Blue Glacier off of Mount Olympus.
Which for me sounds so exciting because this is actually going to be my first time to the Pacific Northwest. And I've only seen just beautiful images coming from that area. But this sounds like this is a particular place that we're going for a specific reason. Why are we going to the Olympic National Park?
Well, it really all goes back to the summer of 1982. So we're jumping into the Wayback Machine here 40 years ago. I spent the summer working for the Student Conservation Association on a backcountry trail crew in Olympic National Park, and our base camp was just below the Blue Glacier. And for those who can see the video, that's the backdrop behind me here is the Blue Glacier as it looked in 1982. So I'm going back to recreate about a dozen images that I took in 1982, 40 years later, and they'll be exhibited as a side-by-side set of images, the Blue Glacier Then and Now, as a way to share my personal climate change story.
Well, and I think that is such an important way of conveying, some of the threats that are happening to our world right now through things like climate change is through our own personal stories. As a quick sidebar for those that are, know me, I actually did my own climate story last year for a project called Climate Kayaking Conversation, where I told my own story of kayaking the East Coast of the United States, trying to understand how different communities understand climate change. So this is a project that I am so excited for. Not only is it part of a family, but as another climate storyteller, I'm so excited for this project. So 1982. That puts us at 40 years. And I want to stay in this Wayback Machine for a minute here and kind of paint a picture for us. What was Olympic National Park like to you in 1982? I mean, you were, this is the summer right after college or right after high school for you. And, you're 17, you turned 18 while, working in the park there. What was it like? What are some of the images that stick in your mind from back then?
Well, let's see here. Well, I guess the first image was actually even the process of getting there. I took the Greyhound from Cleveland, Ohio, all the way out to Seattle, stopping to visit friends or family a couple of points along the way. But sort of that classic, teenage desire to go see the world, I grabbed a backpack and hopped on Greyhound and headed west. So there's a whole set of stories just around that journey. But I remember getting out there, and I'd not been to the Pacific Northwest before. I'd been to the Southwest a number of times because of a grandfather that lived in Phoenix, but I'd never been to that part of the world. And getting into the Hoh rainforest, that's H-O-H, at the base of the mountains there was just amazing. The fact that I learned that there were temperate rainforests. So you don't have to go to the tropics to find a rainforest. that world was just magical. You have these trees that were absolutely enormous. Can't even begin to convey the enormity of these giant trees, with lichens and moss hanging off of them. It really is an amazing place. And then to get up to the point where you can see the peaks and the glaciers was, like stepping into National Geographic for me as a kid.
Absolutely. That paints such a good picture. And I think that is really going to kind of help ground where this project goes from here. Because as you said, that this project is all about the then and now. And other than that, thank you, Chip, so much for letting me take the host chair for this extra bonus episode. It has been an absolute pleasure to, have this perspective, not only as a fellow artist and maker, but then also as a family member and son. So thank you so much, and really looking forward to this exciting project.
Well, thank you. Well, this has been a real treat, and thanks for stepping up to be the guest host. I couldn't imagine anybody better to have this conversation with. So thank you, and tune in next time. Thank you for joining us. This has been the Artist Spotlight with Chip Freund. Find accompanying blog posts at chipfreundphoto.com/blog, and you may subscribe to our show on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like listening.